Listen to me when I tell you I'm not sure about a lot of things in life. Shit, I'm married, but I'm not sure if I still want to be married. Hell, I'm not sure who the president is at this point in time. I'm not sure if I should get vaccinated or if I shouldn't get vaccinated. But there's one thing I'm absolutely certain of. It's that there's a 12-foot tall Bigfoot on my property. Now let me pause and explain a little bit to you about this big guy, because he's not aggressive to me and my family at all. But he don't like when people come around the house. I'm not sure if he's used to us and he's being protective, or maybe because he was here first, he considers it his land and he's sharing it with us and he's cool with that, but he's not really cool with anybody else coming around. That I don't know. But what I can tell you is he don't like when we get visitors. Example, my mother-in-law, who's a bit of a habitual line stepper, is over on a Saturday. She wants to go outside to the garden and get some tomatoes. I tell her, look, I'll go out there and get what you want. How many tomatoes do you want? But no, she insists that she wants to go outside to the garden and get the tomatoes herself. My 15-year-old son says, Grandma, I'll go out there and get them for you. Just tell me how many you want. She gets all tooty and snaps at the boy, saying, no, I don't need you to go out there and get it for me. I can go get it myself. I look at my wife, I look at him, and I look at her, and I said, okay, go ahead and get them yourself. She's out there no more than 5 minutes when she comes running back into the house, tomatoes all over her face, all over her chest, and all over her back. The woman is upset because she says someone was throwing tomatoes at her from the wood line. Now understand, my entire family knows who's out there in the wood line. We just never told her. So now she's pissed and she's thinking that it was my son out there playing games, throwing tomatoes at her from the wood lines. He tells her, no, I was upstairs in my room. I wasn't outside, but she insists that it was him, right? Another example, my wife's messy ass girlfriend, Courtney, comes over. Courtney with a K, not Courtney with a C, as she would say. She comes over to the house. Her and my wife are outside, hanging out on the porch, drinking wine, holding a conversation. My wife comes inside to get another bottle. A few seconds later, Courtney comes flying through the front door, complaining about someone throwing pecans at her. Naturally, from the wood line. Now, in this instance, I didn't care because I don't really like Courtney with a K. She's one of those women that likes to come over to my house, talk all this trash, and make my wife feel like our life is not the way it should be. But we're very happy with our location and the way we live. Another time, Courtney with a K comes over. She pulls up in the driveway, and no sooner than her car hits the driveway, the windshield is hit by rocks. She starts blowing the horn, peeks her head out of the window, screaming, somebody's throwing rocks at me from the woods. I'm not coming back over here ever again. If you guys don't want me here, just tell me you don't want me here. Listen, my wife is upset with Big Boy, but me, I'm happy because I could not stand Courtney with a K. Listen, those are some of the lighter things that happen around the house. Now, let me tell you about some of the heavier duty stuff that happened. I have this 1,000-foot shed, and I hire Javier, the contractor I've been using for years to do things around the house, and I want Javier to paint the shed. It's a Saturday morning. He comes over with his normal guy, but he has this other dude that I've never seen before. They start painting, run out of paint. I got to run to Home Depot. I got to run out and buy some more paint. When I get back to the house, Javier and those other two dudes are parked up the road from the house, sitting there with their eyes wide open, scared out of their minds. I blow the horn, pull up and say, Javier, what's going on? He tells me that something was growling at them from the woods. Listen, Big Boy, as I call him, has a good sense of reading people. So normally he's chilling. But if he was growling at somebody, I promise you they was doing something wrong. So I tell them, come on back up with me to the shed. We'll take this paint. You guys can get back to painting. But when I get into the shed, I notice that one of my toolboxes is wide open and I got tools missing. So now I got all three of them in the shed. And I tell Javier, I said, hold on, man. Somebody's been in my toolbox and stole some of my tools. What happened to my tools? Understand, Bigfoot don't need to use no damn tools. My wife don't like going to the shed, and my son couldn't fix his own damn bicycle if he wanted to. So one of these people had to steal my tools. We're there talking, and a new guy whose name I never caught starts to catch a hissy fit. I don't have to stand here and take this being accused of stealing stuff from you. I don't have to take this and stand around and have you accusing me of stealing stuff. And he goes to pull one of those movie things where he kind of storms off. Picture the scene, 1,000-foot shed, garage door that rolls up. He's storming out of the garage door. Everybody else is standing there looking at him walk away when a wrench comes flying out of nowhere, busting him in the shoulder. Then you hear this growl. Javier is freaking out. The one who was walking out of the door is now standing there with his eyes buck wide open. Now get this, when Javier and I walk out of the shed into the driveway, we see that guy's tool belt hanging on a tree limb with a whole bunch of brand new shiny tools in it. So now I'm pissed off because you trying to steal from me. And I tell him, bro, go get my shit and put it back where you found it, or I'ma beat your ass. He turns around, bowls up to me, fist balled like he's fucking 10 years old, chest puffed out. I'm not gonna get nothing. What you gonna do about it? So I punch him dead in his right eye. His hands go up to cover his eye, and I kick him in the nuts. When his head comes down from being kicked in the nuts, I elbow him on the top of his head, and he falls to the ground. Now Javier's ran up, grabbed me, pulling me off of him, and I tell him, listen, take this no good, raggedy motherfucker and get him off my property before I hurt him. Now listen to this. Homeboy must have been dazed or confused, but he stands up and starts walking in the direction of the wood line. And no sooner than he hits the edge of the wood line, big boy growls at his ass again. This long, nasty, I'm gonna eat you alive growl. And then his punk ass takes off running back to the truck. I tell Javier, man, we've been doing business a long time. I'm very disappointed in the fact that you brought this thief to my property. And I tell him, but go ahead on. You got an hour to go take him where you need to take him and then bring your ass back and finish painting this shed, or I'm not paying you nothing else. Listen to this. An hour later, Javier and the other guy are back painting the shed, and they have absolutely no problems whatsoever. So like I was saying when I started the story, there are not a lot of things in this world that I'm sure about. But there's one thing I'm absolutely certain about. I got a 12-foot tall Bigfoot that lives on my property. I call him Big Boy. And honestly, he behaves like a crazy ass big brother.